or inside of Furry. I work for Confuzzled registration, and I have done for uh, too long, far too long. I think my first working was the first one at the Hilton, so that's 2014. That's 11 years. Holy Christ! Anyway, yeah. So I do that, and I just tend to be a loudmouthed um, voice of people who've never been to fur meets. I tend to latch onto them and be like, "Come and look at the shiny things." Um, but apart from that, that's that. Um, I don't know what else I do really. I don't, this is gonna sound peculiar to a lot of people that are in the fandom now. I got into the fandom when I first got internet access. Um, when I was 12 years old, uh, and I'd always spent, when you're a kid, running around like, ha ha ha, I've got a tail and ears, woo! And I was always a badger, always as a kid, always a badger. And we'd play Animals of Farthing Wood and stuff like that. And then I found out that on the internet there was all these other weirdos that were just the same. Um, and we ended up joining things like Furry Muck, which was an amazing, amazing place, Furcadia, and then of course along came things like Second Life. So that was the internet caused me to join the fandom, and I've been here ever since. And I started going to meets in the early 2000s, um, when I was sort of knocking on for, oh god, I was knocking on for your age, and so that's when I started going to meets and things, sort of in London and Bury St Edmunds back in the day, when a big meet in Bury St Edmunds would be 14 people. That would be a big meet, and 10 of us would be in suit, because everybody made their own suits back then. Um, so that's what kept me in it was the community. I think was it wasn't so much the furry side. While the art and everything is cool as hell, um, it was the people in it that kept me in. That we're all this sort of same breed of weirdo, and we and it was nice. I was very internet based. I was very introverted as a kid, incredibly introverted. And if anybody's seen me at cons now, they will know that I am absolutely not introverted. Um, I'm just full of shouty energy. Somebody called me the Brian Blessed of furry as an insult, but I've taken that as a as a great plus to me personally. I'm very proud to be the Brian Blessed of furry.
And you mentioned earlier on about being involved with Reg with Confuzzled. So that's more than 10 years ago. What kind of got you started in volunteering with conventions in the first place?
Uh, I used to live with one of the registration team members, and basically I joined to take on some of the workload before they had a nervous breakdown. If I'd known what I was letting myself in for, I would have I'd have still done it. I would have still done it. It's so, it's. I find it a very rewarding department, registration, because it's got its downsides where you are stuck in a room all day for 2 or 3 days, and you're packing bags and stuff like that, and it's dull, but you're doing it with people you like and you people you get on with, so it makes it a bit better. Um, and you get to see people. But originally I did it just to help out my friends, and then I got inducted into this weird little family, which is the behind the scenes um, convention types, and it's amazing how many conventions sort of share staff and share crew, especially in Europe. How many people like work for ScotiaCon that also work for Confuzzled. My first ScotiaCon, I actually worked. I volunteered at my first ScotiaCon just to help out because again, um, my friend was like, "Please, we really need somebody help." So, and as I'm an absolute sucker for my friends in need, I was like, "Yeah, all right, it won't be that bad." Until they gave me an 8 a.m. ops shift on a Sunday morning. and my hangover did not enjoy that, not one bit.
As someone who has also done 8 a.m. shifts at a convention, I can tell you we're in the same boat, Bestie.
Oh, it's there's nothing like that alarm going off at 7 o'clock, and you think I only went to bed an hour ago. Uh, am I sober enough for this? Ah, so I'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're all good. Everything's fine.
I never use the phrase more, it'll be grand, than at a furry con.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, she'll be re. It'll be re. It'll be re. It'll be fine. It's a running tradition that if I turn up for registration on Saturday and I don't have a banging hangover, something is wrong, and I have to go away and get drunk. Um, Luckily, that's not been a problem yet. Uh, but that Friday night is normally a an accidental big night every time. So,
So you mentioned going to Confuzzled and ScotiaCon, both of cons I've been to in the past, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And I know you go to a lot of fur meets across the UK as well. Have you been to any outside of Europe cons, and what's the experience like there compared to European cons?
oh ironically, I've never done another convention in Europe. I've done some American ones, but I've never done one in Europe. I'm very uh, I tend to stick to the UK, and I don't know what I found the American cons. It was a very weird vibe. It's very room party heavy. There's not a big sort of bar social scene like there is in the UK, where everybody just crowds into the bar and you need extra bar staff on until 4 in the morning. It's very sort of room based orientated, and I prefer things like Confuzzled where everything's in one space. Um, I hate walking to a convention center. I'm just a lazy sod. Uh, but I did Anthrocon a couple of times when it was small in the sort of mid 2000s. I say small, it was still the biggest, but they had like 10 rooms, not an entire convention hall, and there was, like 1,000 people was considered mind blowing. So I'm hoping in the next sort of, starting this year and the next couple of years, I'm going to start pushing out again and start sort of, I really want to do NFC. So if anybody wants to sponsor me for that, not, give us a room. Cheers. Anybody? Oh God, I want to start doing things like Nordic and Eurofurence, and I want to start going to America again and Canada and just being the inappropriately loud British person who gets very drunk and informs Americans that they're all ungrateful colonials. Um, that's 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 what we're going for. Apart from being heavily autistic about trains, I've got nothing else on the cart. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, trains, oh, furry, oh. Why couldn't I have that good autism like maths or something? No, I've got trains and furry and dinosaurs. Ooh, fantastic. My God, this is the thing. I've been in this fandom for oh, what did I say? At 12 years old, and I'm 41 now. Jesus Christ! So I don't have a single picture of my persona with a train.
You're
What
joking.
what am I doing with my life? I've had this for and genuinely, the HellBadger has been my persona since I was 12. He's barely changed in all those years, and I do not have oh, well, I do have. There is a train picture in existence with him, but it's absolutely not for public consumption because the artist that drew it was absolutely leathered, and drew some very bizarre things. And there was a train involved, but it was weird. I've never seen a train with boobs before, but there it was. Um, so, like I said, furries are weird. Um, I really should get some art of him with trains. Mm.
You'd mentioned the HellBadger had stayed the same over the last almost 30 years. How have you kept your persona the same? Because I know for me, ink changes every 5 minutes.
Well, I'm probably just not an indecisive little scrote. Uh, I've always had a connection with with badgers. It's weird. Like when I was a kid, I'd always pretend to be a badger. It was my mum's nickname for me after an incident where um, at a young age, where that age where you're still absolutely terrified of your parents and their anger, and having an army, having an army soldier for a dad, absolutely terrified of what would happen if I came home covered in mud. So me and my friend Gavin decided to wash each other's hair. Unfortunately, we used what's now called Sif, which is a kitchen cleaner, and my dark blonde hair went grey and patchy. And my first response from my dad was, "He looks like a badger's arse." At which point, my mum decided she was going to call me her little badger, and my friends all thought that was very, very funny. So they started calling me Badger, and it's genuinely, to this day, my real name. I don't respond to it half the time. So the fact that I progressed with a persona that was a badger, it was just an absolutely natural thing. And the hell part is because at the age of 12, I was starting to turn into a proper little goth. I'd already bought a Marilyn Manson album, I was I was I was heading down the path of loving heavy metal and stuff like that. So the Red Stripes came in, and then it was like, ugh. In fact, the piece of art that's in my icon right now, on this call, has been my Google icon since I had a Google account. So um, that's and I had a Google account when they were the new thing. That I think that image itself is about 2004, 2003. So yeah, he's not changed, solely because he just feels right. I'm just comfortable. And sometimes people don't want to settle. Sometimes people want to dibble dabble. Sometimes people split and go everywhere. He has occasionally turned up with like pink stripes because it's my favourite colour. Um, so some people have drawn him with pink stripes because I occasionally have pink hair. Um, so apart from that, he's remained pretty stoic because he's just me. He's just an extension of me. Um, it's very, I don't know. It's very hard to describe. Oh, you caught me on the hop with this one. Why haven't I changed HellBadger? Because he's already bloody perfect. Look at him. You've got to imagine he survived the Sparkle Dog era, um, unchanged, unfazed. You know, he never went through an emo phase because he was already a goth. The Badger from Hell, the Demon Badger. He was already an edgelord before being an edgelord was cool. So, which I'm pretty sure that makes him even edgier.
Has there been anyone who's been a chancer over the years that tried to use like an ID that's out of date? Or I know I had someone try to use, and I kid you not, a Tesco club card.
So when it happens, you think, "Oh, this person's having a joke." Ha ha ha! Lol lol lol. And then you realise they're serious, and you're like, "Beg your pardon." Um, yeah, we've not had that many. We have a lot of people that don't realise their ID is out of date. So I'm going to use this as a public broadcast announcement. If you're out there and attending a furry convention, make sure your bloody ID is in date. Because as much as we joke about it, there is nothing worse in this world than watching somebody's face crumple when you say, "I can't let you in with this ID." Um, so you do get some people that full well know it's out of date and are just hoping for the best. Which is why we like international visitors the best, because they can't get in with an out of date ID. They can't get into the country, so that helps us a lot. But yeah, we do have a few. We did have a chap who thought it'd be really funny to produce every single card he had out of his wallet one by one until I said that's acceptable. So me being myself, after registering him threw his acceptable ID right down the back of the hallway. Um, I would point out he was a member of staff and a friend, so it was a good. It was a good crack. But you don't. Um, we've had people turn up with all sorts of weird things. Um, it's always interesting to see different IDs from different countries. Um, and you'll get somebody goes over and goes, "Oh, this is my American driving license." I'm like, "That's great, mate, but you've come over here with an American passport. Why didn't you just use that? What do you, well, why did you bring your driving license, which I have no idea how to read over here?" Um, I think the I think that the thing that people like to chance the most is when you tell them you can't let them in. Oh, can you just let it go this time, or can we just do this way, or what can we do this way, what can we do the other way, or we have had people go, "I'm going to call my mum and she's going to come down here and sort this out," and I'm like, "Well, I'm going to tell your mum the same thing. I'm going to. It doesn't matter if it's your mum. You might be scared of her, but I'm not. I drive buses for a living. I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't scared." So, yeah, and we have had people that have turned up and gone, "I want to buy a ticket." It doesn't work like that. We've had this information out there. It's all on the website for you. Um, so I just implore people, please check you've got valid ID. It's out there. It's on the internet. It's available for your viewing. Please look. Please don't make me cry. Um, because I don't want to make you cry, even though you know sometimes I appear that I might want to make you cry. I genuinely don't. So, uh, yeah, we don't really get too many people trying it on, but you do get a certain amount of people that um, feel that they're entitled to a very fast registration, and because a couple of people know me in the furry fandom. Yes, great. Join the queue with everybody else. Join the queue with and I could see that the thing is when you get people come to their first convention, they're generally very nervous people. Very nervous. It doesn't matter how big your bravado is and what have you. You're in a weird place full of weird people, especially weird people. And the most important thing is to act like it's completely normal behind that desk. Like, so what? Oh no, you've. My favourite is you get people coming and go, "Oh no, I haven't got any ID on me. I've lost my ID," and it's like, "Where have you come from?" "America." "Show me your passport." "Oh yeah, I could use that." And it's like it's like trying to get people over that panic and not feeling like an idiot is incredibly important. So you've got to have some basic witherall about yourself to understand, you know, different languages and different places and nationalities. Because we play nationality bingo at Confuzzled. See how many people we can register of different nationalities. Um, which is why we always, every year we have somebody at Confuzzled who comes from the Vatican City, and we always thought it was a joke, but it's not. They are genuinely from the Vatican City, and everybody prays he comes to the desk because that's the only way you're getting somebody from the Vatican City is that one attendee out of thousands, you know. But no, I know what you mean about different IDs. Is there's so many out there. I love the Dutch IDs because Dutch, as far as I'm concerned, Dutch isn't a real language. It can't be a real language. Um, Nobody has that many O's. Nobody. Um, but it is cool. It is cool to see those different passports and different people from all over the world. And thankfully, how wonderfully nice people are in accepting that I don't speak a word of their language, but they try. They try English, and it's so appreciated. To the point where I now try and learn a few basic phrases in different languages so that I can at least, help with any sort of minor confusion. Words like ticket over there, um, not here, bar, beer, very important words in foreign languages to know.
If you could let people know where they could find you online, please.
Um, Horrible dark places, usually moldy crevices, under rocks, that kind of place. If you type in HellBadger, you're bound to find me somewhere. Because somehow, despite being 30 something years old of a persona, thanks for the reminder, still woefully few people not called the HellBadger knocking about. So um, I'm more active on Blue Sky these days than, say, Twitter or anything like that because I like Blue Sky. It's not full of Nazis. And yeah, that's probably the best place to find me, honestly. Just HellBadger on Blue Sky. Um, I just talk absolute nonsense on there, just like I have in this podcast.